G'day, welcome back to my Oxygen Not Included playthrough as we continue to survive, I guess, and try and get a rocket to the moon. Now, there has been a little bit of a break, probably about 2 weeks or so since my last play of this one, so let's make sure we're up to speed. So, firstly, thank you for the suggestions, and there is my gas reservoir, so it's in the base menu. Thank you for that. So, if we have a look at this guy here, let's pause for a second so we don't waste any more time while we've got this going. What we want to do is make some reservoirs so that this guy here can actually have more gas. Like, we don't waste gas just sitting in that room. So let's have a look at what a gas reservoir looks like. So what's it going to cost us? It's going to cost us iron, a bit of gold again, but we will just use our iron ore. It's a chunky boy. Could fit in there. So we could fit 2 there. I feel like we could fit 1, 2, or we'd need it to sit on something, so it'd be 1, 2, or we could sit 2, 4 that side. But let's start with 2 here. Not go completely nuts. White is in, green is out. So I want to flip it around, but it looks like I can't. That's okay. So what we'll do is we'll put those 2 there. It's, what's that, 1, 2, 3 high. So we will say dig out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we go 3 by 10. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's telling me in the middle there. 3 by 10. And then another 3 by 10 there. Then what we want to do is, I was going to say give this a proper floor. I mean, not that it really matters at all. Now this door here, I think the only job of that was to stop there being natural gas sort of sneaking in. But we've done a good job. I mean, there's water in there now, so that natural gas isn't getting out anyway. What's the current status of the rocket? It's here. Are we pumping gas in? Contents none. We'll come back to that. Although, really, if I want that going, then I should get that started. Research-wise, it sounds like it is the petroleum ones that I want to use. Solid fuel. Refined iron. Oxalate. Petroleum. So this is what we want. We do still need more interstellar research until if we get to those petroleum ones. So we do want to claim even more steam from this guy. So it would just be that we go reset the amount, let him start to push through. That takes forever, so we definitely do want to get that going. Okay, so ventilation. Gas pipes. What we want to do is we want to go in there. So pipe runs along here. Are they going to have to destroy this to build that? How does this work? Cancel that for a second. I don't want to risk having this break into that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say build a roof there for me real quick. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig this out. Get that roof in place first. Same, let's get that and that. You know what? You can build that too while you're there. Let's treat ourselves. Only live once, right? Let's we know that this is going to get shut down for like long periods of time, so where is the harm in creating a ridiculous amount of gas reserves? Or at least available spaces for gas reserves. We haven't built them yet. Are they just... Is that just... Oh, that's sand, is it? Okay, I thought it was empty. Okay, and then what we want to do is we'll copy this guy. We'll swap over to igneous rock. Don't really need to use sandstone. Let's go granite, actually. And I'll just cancel quickly those 3. Get the rest of that first built. Where do they have to go to get to here? They've got to come all the way around. How much plastic have I got? 7 tons. I mean, it's not that they should have to come over here very often. It's just this is a very rare moment of a heavy build down in this area. But this is a pain of a long way they have to walk while they are coming down here. I am going to up the requirement on the speed of those 3. I just want them done so I don't have to sit here and focus on this part. I can sort of leave them to building here for a bit. Okay, other things that we were looking at. Change what planets I go to. That I keep going to the same one, so I'm not getting the same amount of data banks that I otherwise would. You on those long commutes. Telescope's idle. Let's what's that symbol there? Just mean that I've been there. Now I can't get anywhere further than that anyway, I think, with my current rocket. So we are sort of limited to those first 2 until I do get those petroleum rockets. There we go, 1 more to go. Lovely. Okay, so then let's copy what we've got going on there. Build that across. Now that does mean as well I can start to build this this gas because the protection here is now in place. So cancel that because we don't need to go that far. It would be that we go gas goes up here into there. This one then goes across up into there. This one then comes across. And it would be that we get rid of one of these. We'll wait for that to be built. Basically, we would connect this and hopefully it means the gas turns, that one empties. And then we can move that into connecting spot. I also wrote myself a note that says make liquid. That might have been a note about the liquid nitrogen and or hydrogen and oxygen, and just having to freeze it down. That's cool. Is anyone currently not wearing so many things here? Building menu. That one. Okay. Ari's wearing spiffy overalls. Oh, Catalina. You are next man up. Look at that. Stinky just sort of getting to have a break for once. Oh, he got caught. He's not happy about it. Okay, so let's copy these again. And let's just go crazy. Gonna have to work out the logistics of how this can fit in with that one there. But I mean, I suppose it just goes from this out tank here, runs into that. So with all of these, yeah, with all of these, we're fine to start to build the gas piping. So it goes into... So we would run across here, go straight up into the white one. This goes across here, straight up into that one. This guy comes across, and then we just repeat that pattern. Because, I mean, if you recall how badly we suffered when we ran out of natural gas. Or when this went dormant. So you can see it's not going to be dormant for another 60 cycles, but once it does go dormant, it's going to be dormant for about 40. So if we can have a whole bunch of that gas cleared out. Absolutely. So now we can get rid of that roof. That was just built so that we could build this without exposing that roof. What other projects did we have going on? Water in here. This guy keeps dropping, his pipe keeps getting blocked. But I did say at one point that I thought that would stop once he extended into the new area that we had him going into. Where is that? Thought we added a whole new section. Maybe we've added a whole bunch more water in there too. We don't really want him stopping. We want him to continue going constantly because otherwise he's not going to heat up. I'd want to see, does he actually get any hotter than 71.6? I mean, otherwise it's fine if he does. If he does manage to get higher, then we're all good. But let's see what this guy's doing here. How is that water doing, by the way, too? Water coming out. -9. So, I mean, all these plants... Well, that goes back to being too hot. 31. I do need to get rid of some of that water out of that pipe. Alright, here's what we do. Where is the water? Let's just trace that tube. Here. So, what we could do is just put a liquid pipe here for a moment with a liquid vent. And we'll just speed things up just so we can see this get done. So, what we should now see is that for a little bit here, we're going to drop every second lot. And you can see that guy there is now going a bit more of a consistent click. I mean, as long as it's spaced like that, I don't think there's any issue in dropping like half the water that's moving through here. It's just as long as it doesn't stop. So what we can do now is we can say deconstruct that, because even that gap I think should allow that to go a bit smoother. because you can see that that gap is now past him. So if this gets stopped at any point, this is going to have to like sort of get backed up to a point that it's affecting him. That that then I have to address it again. The longer it takes him to remove that, the longer that it's too. Great, that's gone, and we can say deconstruct that, and he should be now ready to continue to burn. Okay, so let's have a look at this tubing here. Actually, let's jump back here for a second to see how we're doing. All right, we're almost there. So these two are built. Actually, let's get this started. We'll get something going. So if we say do that. See how much gas there is ready to go. Why are you passing straight through to him? What's the rule? High threshold, low threshold. I guess we're filling him up because there's something that needs it beyond him. So that's cool. So he'll fill up once this one's full. Okay, so back to our gas pipe. It's a bummer because it means I'm just going to have to drop gas at some point. I can't just have it essentially stop going that way. Think. But you can already see that this is now sort of, it's just constantly moving, which is great. We're actually getting the gas out of that room. Because it's still going to 50% split, that half of it's going up. So I'm not going to get this clear unless... I'm trying to think of a way of doing it without having to let gas go into the atmosphere. If I put a gas valve on it... Maybe if I just do it enough, eventually it will just be empty. Maybe. Although I'm gonna have to do that every single one of these cuts. I think I'm just gonna have to concede and mean that there's gonna be a tiny little bit of gas leakage here. But with some of these, basically, we're just cutting it off to fill this. Like, I can't say make the shift yet with some of these because there's not, like, say, I can't say send the gas this way because this isn't going to go into anything. But okay, there we go. That's another one where it's going to move across. So that gas pipe there, we can say deconstruct. We just watch it. No, you're going the wrong way. The great news is that we've got this funny little loop where it's going to send it half and half until I can get rid of this. I mean, it's funny. Every second round, half the less stuff will go down south, so slowly sending less and less the wrong way. But we can say that gas pipe there, deconstruct with all urgency. Done, thank you. And then what we can say is that this guy goes up here and then across. Now that should be the same for this one here. This goes across that way. And that gas pipe we say deconstruct. You can see there's going to be a hearty flow up here because this guy's already full. And now that that's full again, we are going to start to fill up these reservoirs. Nice and quick on that one. Construct that, and what would it look like on this one? Same thing as well. Deconstruct that. Just going to speed it up because I want to see this get done. Is everyone going to lunch? Yeah. Do only eat once a day, so I suppose no one's having lunch. It is funny in this sort of preparation section where this guy here is going to, and that guy there, I guess, they're both going to slightly fill a little bit. So is this guy, while all three of them are waiting for his last adjustments. And then that's just all going to push up. So this guy here is already pretty much full. So that guy there will be already ready to go full. And you can see that definitely this is why it's, I guess, worth having so many too. Thought I might have been doing a bit of overkill, but we're already going to have two of these completely full. And that room is still clearly full of gas. So we are definitely preparing ourselves for the what's to come. It really makes me think that I could have more. We'll see how we go with these full, but like if this thing's going to be constantly erupting like that, and it like I expect that this room should be completely empty. That's sort of what I want to see. That by the end, well, not really. I mean, by the end, if this room is empty, these guys are full, or not yet full rather, and this is empty, then it means that okay, I've got a good sort of like match here. Whereas if these guys are full and that room's all still full, then maybe I need to build a second bank of these guys over here too. Because I think natural gas, especially, it's certainly our easiest resource to manage. Like as long as that guy's got gas, we've got these two pumping, and based on what the world was like when those two weren't pumping, it's definitely worth having it. We've got these two guys just sort of like contributing their little bit too. That means that this is like the auxiliary tank. There you can go. You can see that that's now pushing all of that. This guy's now, yep, he's completely full. This guy's on his way. These two are still emptying out their tanks as that continues to push. I look forward to seeing how that goes. But at this point, I'm like, well, maybe I do need to set up another. Is it 10? 10 over here. Okay, so back over to our liquid. He's still getting hotter. Perfect. What we want to see from him. But his water is going to slowly start to get hotter. It's currently it won't be because we're pulling that much water out. This guy here is where this is actually a problem. So this is, I think I pointed that out that this was going to become an issue. So we're going to now fix this. So current setup that we have is that when water comes out of here, it's being pushed directly down into this system, which we don't need to do anymore. We can have that liquid just pop along. So we'll get rid of that, and I guess all of that liquid pipe just below it. All of that. Let's just double check. Because what we now want is we want this pipe to check the water. Any clean liquid it has to send through. But the problem is that we've just sort of like been cherry picking the liquid that we need. But he doesn't even need liquid anymore. Like, this... Like, he's going to continue turning just because he's doing that. So we don't even need the other side of this. In fact, what we want to do is, I reckon we can get rid of all of this. What do you need that liquid for? Oh no, you're just... What were you using that liquid for? I don't remember why I had this second turn. Oh, because it's feeding through him. Of course. Okay, so what we now need to do is get rid of that liquid pipe there. So... Actually, his pipe's blocked. Because... Oh, this has now got nowhere to go. Sorry. So... It's, that liquid pipe needs to be deconstructed. I guess an absolute emergency, because it should just be that this is now filling out that way. Are you not feeling that? You're not rolling out here? Alright, we can use second liquid vent. We can deconstruct S3 if you don't like it. And let's get utmost priority on those. Why is that building? That building disabled. That would explain why this was a problem. Let's build it back. I preferred that setup. So let's go enable that building, cancel that build, deconstruct that. Sorry for wasting your time. Let's get that with mad priority, and let's get that enabled with mad priority. There we go. Okay. Obviously, we disabled that to mean that all the liquid was getting pushed through to down here. But currently, it means that both of these pipes are empty because there's currently too much polluted water in here. Now, I think that part of my plan was that this water here is almost exclusively polluted. The only thing that we're pulling out of it is oil. If there's oil in it, it goes that way. So the polluted water comes up and up and up, and it just goes straight in. So what we want to do is we want to set up a sieve in here, I think, somewhere along this path. Maybe down here might be the easiest spot for it. So what we'll do is we will say build some tiles that just run there. Now, how does that slow down water? Water just pretty much speeds through it, right? No, it does sort of slow it down. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to copy that and build another one there. What we'll do is we'll go up and we'll grab a sieve, we'll say copy, make it out of iron. One there, one there. And what we'll do is we'll just basically make a split on the pipe. So we need to put power first. So let's get the power to it. Where are we pulling power from? Where's our closest? Nectar. So those two guys are just sort of set up there. So maybe let's copy that and just make this a bit more of a platform. We'll copy that. And we'll copy this guy and put him there. And we'll say deconstruct all of that. Oh, mealtime. How's our gas going? You doing well? Most of the way through there. How's our gas here doing? Great. Okay, so what we can see here is that the room itself is really starting to thin out. And we've gotten 4 full. So I would say we definitely don't need more at this stage. Because we are... Well, because obviously this guy's generating less than what these guys are can hold. Because otherwise this room would be getting fuller as this pump is going nuts. We just have a quick admire of what's happening. You can see there's definitely a constant flow of it moving out. But hopefully... I mean, obviously the longer this runs, surely we're still pumping more here than what this is taking up there. So quite possibly we will still fill them all. It is still very early days. Obviously we had the reserve of the full room, but we will see. All right, then what we'll do is we'll take this guy and... All right, unforeseen consequence there. Let's change that into a mesh tile. We don't want this thing just sort of living underwater. And then what we'll do as well is we will copy that. Oh, I can't go through a wall, can it? Let's just run it down here. Maybe the easiest way to do this. I suppose I've just got to concede and build a ladder the full length of that. Alright, and then please mop this, because it shouldn't continue to stay like that, so should be good. Power, we'll run power to there, and then we will run power down to here. We will then look at our plumbing and say go up, you go down. Liquid pipe, you get deconstructed. And then liquid pipe, you go up, go down, you get deconstructed. And let's mop up the spills of that liquid that just got down to this guy. So what should happen is that the bet is that these guys are going to take... Well, they're only going to be able to get half the pipe at any point. So the amount of water that they get should then... Have I got them around the wrong way? Blue. Alright. Just kick this into mad priority. Deconstruct the 2 of those real quick. Press that key output switch. And same urgency, fellas. The materials should be right there. Alright. Why have we stopped again? Because the power points have moved. Getting so close. Oh, you're down there. You're already on it. Work, Quinn. want to see this working. No power consumers, right. How are we looking now with this room starting to get even more sparse? I mean, it's hard to tell how much is actually moving in here. I guess it is that little square as the representation, which is still smaller than this guy at the moment. But I feel like that should still continue to get smaller. You can see that's already smaller down here now. But we are backing up. Now 5 full. See. Okay. How's the efficiency of these moving? That pipe there's still stopping. So this could actually, I guess, arguably take... Well, maybe not take more. It's probably just that it's uneven. That it's pulling. There you go. So you can see that it's now hit a weird little pattern. But these guys look like that pipe is full. And hopefully that means that our water suppliers here are going to be in a lot less strife. Because now they are just dealing with... both of these pumps basically need liquid to... They need water for what they're doing. There's no point in making everything have to cycle through. Like you can see, both of them are currently jammed because they're both pumping water through to this one sieve, who is obviously like our auxiliary one. But hopefully what we're going to see now is that the majority of water getting in that room is clean. I mean, this guy's pumping clean water. It's just that there happens to be polluted water. So the vast majority of what's happening up here should be clean water. It's just all this stuff that we pulled that isn't. Well, alright. I feel like that puts us in a spot better than we were before. I think our water level's gone down again while we're waiting for this. And we are starting to urgently need this guy to be back on again. Because this room's going to start to turn to liquid again. Surely so that one. So's that one. Meanwhile, this guy is our only one that's still just sort of powering on non-stop. And we'll have to keep an eye. We will have to measure him at some point, because obviously he's not going to be in a perfect circle. But it is a long circle at the moment. And that plant is back to being alive, so that's another good news story there. Yeah, let's grab this one. Yeah, we'll take an oxyfern seed. Cool. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. And until next time, catch you later. Yeah.